Yo guys, what's going on? It is Catman227 here, and I'm back with some more gameplay breakdown on Junkensteins Revenge. Now, quick announcement, I did start a new YouTube channel. It's the second channel. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I'm going to give some more information on it in its own separate video. Just keep that in mind that I'm probably going to make this announcement several times throughout the remainder of this series. And it's going to be a combined channel. So my second channel is going to include multiple people uploading to the channel, such as Phoenix, Duke, Lightning, and me. And I'll leave a link to all of their channels in the description of this video. But yeah, we're going to be starting up our own channel. And like I said, I'll make a separate video talking about that in a later date. But back to the main topic, Hanzo. Hanzo is going to be the next character we are reviewing for Junkenstein's Revenge in this video. Now, let me just start off by saying he's definitely a really good character for Endless, because those later rounds, his damage is seriously going to help. Like, obviously, High Noon is always going to be the best ultimate for Junkenstein's Revenge. We all know that. It's going to be absolutely insane. But Hanzo, just his primary fire alone, does a ton of damage. And he's a really good DPS, because if you're really good at aiming, you can just dink heads for days. And you can get one-shots, one-shots, one-shots. Unfortunately, I don't do very well with my shots here because I'm trying to work with a broken thumbstick on my controller. Yeah, that was fun. I ordered a new one, so hopefully that comes in soon and I don't have to give you guys shitty gameplay anymore. But I did the best I could with what I had, so... But if you can land your shots, he can one-shot a Riptire, like you just saw there. So he's really good, and I mean almost the best at killing Riptires. So as long as you're super accurate, you can just one-tap those things. The only problem is, whenever you kill a Riptire, I would definitely try to announce it to your team, because when you kill a Riptire, it doesn't show up in the kill feed anymore. So unless they hear the tire break, and that's kind of hard to do with all this pandemonium going on all around you, so try to tell them, hey, I killed the Riptire. Just kind of throw that out there. Going to communicate with your team, which is what I'm doing in this video clip. But now let's move on to his first ability. Now that we've talked about his accuracy and one-shot capabilities with primary fire, we have Storm Arrow. Now, Storm Arrow is really good because you can, if you time it right, so let's say you have a lot of people you need to crowd control, and you just don't have a proper crowd control character. Well, this is great because Hanzo is multi-purpose. So he's really good on bosses, as you can see here. So, yep, absolutely destroyed that Roadhog. So he's really good at killing bosses, like really good, as well as crowd control, because you can one-shot basically all of the Zomnics and Zombarators. So you can easily crowd control. I would not use his ultimate, because his ultimate, the bosses can just walk out of it, especially if it's the monster or the summoner or even the witch. But I would definitely try to use it to kill Zomnics, because, you know, obviously if you kill all the Zomnics, then there's not going to be any of them reaching the door and exploding and doing damage to the door. But you can also do what I did here, and, you know, if you need to quickly deal with Junkenstein, you can pop that out there, use your Storm Arrow, and just start firing them down. I do that with Roadhog as well, so when the Roadhog spawns, you can throw your dragon at him, then you can pop Storm Arrow and just start firing away. Now, Sonic Arrow, I'm not going to talk about too much. You can kind of just use that at complete random. It really doesn't matter. I just kind of use it just to say fuck it and use it. But you can do what I did there, and you can it can kind of help you line up a shot. So when the Zomnic rounds the corner of the wall, you can see, oh, he's about to walk out in the door frame. Bam! Instant kill. So, but if we go back to Storm Arrow, Storm Arrow is an ability you kind of want to use sparingly. I just kind of throw it out there. But there's two ways you can use it. You can either spam it on Zomnics, and that will help you with your crowd control. And if you really are desperate to kill a Riptire, and you're just, you're kind of freaking out, it's getting too close to the door, you can use Storm Arrow to fire down a Riptire. Because if you're in Endless, and there's a crap ton of enemies coming at you, and there's like 5 Roadhogs, and 3 Reapers, and 10 Summoners, and 2 Witches, that's a lot of shit that you're going to have to worry about. So just spam down that Riptire if you have to. It's also really good for bosses, so if you can line up like multiple headshots, like if you can spam it if you know you're gonna hit most of your shots, like point blank, you can just thunk them all into them. But what you really should be doing, which I don't do here because I didn't see an opportunity to do so, but if you are ever in a scenario where you want to do the maximum amount of damage to kill any of the bosses, just start like pop your Storm Arrow, then just shoot, bam, bam, bam. Like take your time, line up your shot. Don't bam, 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 because you're gonna miss a majority of your shots. But if you take your time and you aim and make every shot count, then you're just gonna do a lot more damage. If you can kind of try to use your ultimate in a way that you can kind of angle it. So you can stand in one corner, which is to my left. So to my left right there, in that left corner that I'm standing next to, you can just kind of pop it right down the middle, and your dragon will just shoot diagonal across the map. You shoot it from corner to corner, basically. And that'll hit pretty much most of the battlefield. It'll probably connect with the bosses and do a ton of crowd control as well. And you can use it in combos as well. So combos would be, like if I had to give you a really good Hanzo combination, it would easily be you nano boost him, so you have an Ana, and you put a Discord on him. You put a Discord on him. Sorry, I don't know what the hell I just said. And that means this is Zenyatta. And for maybe your final person, it could probably be somebody like McCree, I guess. It could be McCree. I don't even know what his name is now, so because they have the name change. So I'm just gonna call him McCree for now until we have a definitive name to actually call him. So McCree. Let's just put that out there, McCree. And that will be like your best combo to work with, because if you're nano boosted and you are taking your time with your shots, you're lining up your headshots, it's not going to really do any extra damage to your Dragon Strike, but it will do your Storm Bow and it will do your primary fire. So what you could do is you could get nano boosted, take your time, aim, make sure all of your headshots land perfectly. With a Discord Orb, you can easily gun down a boss in, I'd say, about 10-15 seconds if you're all shooting at him, and Hanzo's doing that. So you could also throw an Ashe in there as well, because fire does make them take a lot more damage if they're discorded. So Ashe is another possibility. And Ashe is just good in general because, she has Bob, which gives you an extra player pretty much. But yet again, so does Torb. That's interesting. I'm going to have to cover that when I get to the Torb video. But anyway, we're not talking about that. So, another thing you could do is a Soldier combo, because Soldier is also really fucking good to compare with Hanzo. Because, let's say you nano boost the Soldier, and the Soldier pops Tac Visor and starts gunning down a shitload of Zomnics. So, right here, you notice how I'm having a lot of trouble killing all these Zomnics just by myself? Well, if we had a Soldier up on the high ground, like right where I'm staring at right there, you could have him up there, you could nano boost him, give him extra damage, and he can just start killing a ton of Zomnics. Meanwhile, Hanzo, who's not nano boosted, still does a shitload of damage and can just start gunning down all the bosses. So while he focuses the bosses, we have Soldier on crowd control. It's really awesome how Hanzo can just combo with pretty much anyone. I don't really see a reason why people don't use him, because I've played a few games where, like, there's been a lot of games actually where they just don't use Hanzo for whatever reason. I don't know, but they'll use Hanzo, or they won't use Hanzo, and that leaves me confused, because he does so much damage, and I just wish that more people would use him, because he's very useful. He does not as much damage as McCree, but he definitely comes in close second when it comes to DPS. I mean, I know Torb always gets play of the game or whatever, but that doesn't really matter. You can't nano boost a turret. That's really my defense to Hanzo, because if your accuracy is really good and you get nano boosted with a Discord and you're landing your shots, you're hitting the rip tires, there's just a lot to focus on. It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to focus on, because Hanzo is multi-purpose, like I said. You have to be hitting headshots. You have to take your time, aim, make sure you're hitting headshots on the bosses, make sure you're hitting headshots on the Zomnics whenever you're working on crowd control. But if I'm Hanzo, with the amount of damage that he does, this is just me, you can prioritize whatever you want with him, whether your priority is crowd control with him or your main priority is taking out a boss. That's completely up to you. But personally, with the amount of damage that he does, I would definitely say bosses. You would want to prioritize bosses. It's okay to do whatever you want with him. You have a lot of leniency, so you can work on crowd control or things like that, or bosses. It depends on just you. But rip tires are your main priority. Like, anytime there's a rip tire, you should always be trying to shoot at it. Even though there's probably multiple people shooting at the rip tire, Hanzo can one-shot it, and it's just better that you at least attempt to take it out. And you should only go back to shooting the bosses or crowd control, whatever you decided to go with, once the rip tire is dead. And you have to make sure that it's dead. Which, that's a whole other thing, is communication. Try to communicate with your team. Like, honestly, just really try to talk to your team. I know it's difficult to talk to randoms, but if you want to make it to extremely high rounds, you do really need to talk to your teammates. You need to turn your mic on. You need to say, hey, rip tire coming in, rip tire is dead. You need to be able to say things like that. Like, if it appears in the kill feed, then you don't really need to call it out, because, I mean, they can see who died in the kill feed, but the rip tire does not appear in the kill feed anymore. I don't know why Blizzard decided to take that feature out, but it's really annoying, and unless you're in a squad of friends like what I'm doing here, I'm playing with my friends, so because of that, we were able to communicate, about the rip tire, and plus we all have a good general game sense of what the hell we're doing. But I'm pretty sure that if you try to do that with randoms, they're not going to listen to you. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know which character you want to see me do next. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Later.